What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here. I wanted to give you a real quick tour and talk about our new digs, our new spot for shooting and recording everything Gear Gods related. So last year we were shooting mainly at a studio in Burbank that we rented with our friend Alex Nasla, who also works for Gear Gods. But we wanted to move our headquarters somewhere really close so that we could really work in here all the time. So we convinced our landlord to let us rent this corner of the garage that's immediately next to where we live, and we were able to build it out a bit and do it exactly what we wanted with it. So the result of that is what you see here before you. It was a whole lot of work, a lot of time, and a little bit of money, but mainly it's made our lives way easier, made making content way easier and more fun, and just more doable, really. So I'm going to take you through everything that's in here and show you what's what. One thing that's really made our very recent videos pop is the addition of a 3D printed Gear Gods sign, courtesy of our good friend Rob Rosen. We had him print out the logo on his 3D printer, and then we just painted them and glued it onto this board that was left over from making this wall. Then we just got these hooks from Home Depot and we hooked it on. We can have it at 2 different levels for depending on what kind of video that we're shooting. And that's great, you know. If I'm sitting here, then it's right behind me. If I'm doing something standing up at the desk or whatever, then we put it up there. Bada bing, bada boom. So the wall, this new background, looks like wood. It's not wood, it's fake wood. This is actually Pergo flooring that we got at Home Depot, but it looks nice. It was too shiny, and so we had to get this dulling spray. I think it's Krylon makes it, and so we sprayed it, and so it doesn't reflect light quite as much as it used to. It's way better now, but it's still not ideal. But real reclaimed wood is very expensive, and this was really easy to work with. It was a lot of work. I made basically a frame of 2x4s and 1x2s and put it all together. And it's not even attached to the wall. Our landlord said we couldn't nail or screw anything into the walls. So it's kind of just wedged in there, but it shows no sign of falling over anytime soon. So knock on fake wood. It's extremely solid, really. And we've got you know, these hooks for the guitars, and that works just fine. Here's our main bass, the JBM 5 multi-scale from Kiesel. Review of this very soon. Speaking of signs, another thing that you may have seen in a lot of our new videos is this light up marquee thing that we got. It's called a light box, I guess. We got this just on Amazon. They're very cheap. The hardest part is just going through all the letters and pulling out the ones that you need. It takes forever. There's not really a good solution that we've come up with aside from making Isaac do it. But it's just fun. It's fun. This is an Ibanez that we reviewed recently. Super awesome. Really ugly shade of green. This is probably the most eye-catching thing aside from this green guitar in the whole studio, and that's because this is 12 by 12. You think you've got a full stack, but this is a full fucking stack. These are Rev 4x12s and then 2 12s loaded with warehouse guitar speakers, the Veteran 30 and ET90. Actually, I don't know which one's which. They're in an X pattern in the 4x12s. I don't know where. This is actually the main camera that we shoot on. It's like, this is the 80D. It's less about the camera itself and more about this lens that we use, Sigma 18-35. This is a great lens. We shoot most of the important stuff on it. Currently, we're not shooting on that, as you can tell, because otherwise this is the camera that we've been using. And the camera that we're actually using is oh no, that's the 80D. This is the 70D. Wow, we've got the lenses swapped. That's funny. Anyway, this is the, right now we're using the Canon 10-18 because we're trying to get as much in the shot as we can, and we're shooting ultra wide. We talked about this in the last video that we did about the studio, but we use these Vanguard SBH 100 tripods. I think it's probably the best tripod you can get for $100, but unfortunately ours is a little bit on the fritz. And then this I did demonstrating the sit-stand features of the desk that I'm about to take you through. That's why you got to be real careful when you have a sit-stand desk. You've probably seen this piano bench in many of our videos. It's quite ugly, but it's got so much character. This is one of the pedal boards that we use to showcase and demonstrate the pedals. It's Temple boards, Temple Audio, and then we use the MXR ISO brick to power the pedals. Isolated pedal power is very important if you want to have not super noisy sounds. We also occasionally use the extra pedal board from DC Pedal Board. This thing is the shit. This is great because sometimes we need to use a lot of pedals. You know, we're constantly putting together pedal boards to demo different things, and this stretches or shrinks depending on what we need. It's got a lot of double-sided tape on it. Over here we have the wall of Ball, as I like to call it. Ernie Ball sent us these posters, and we love Ernie Ball, so we decided to make a whole wall dedicated to them. It doesn't often make it into videos, but it looks so cool, so I just had to do it. I had to do it. Love the design of this. What's the guy's name?
Aaron Draplin.
Aaron Draplin did the designs for all of these, and they're so unique. I love the blue one. We got some synergy business going on here. Did a review of this. This thing's real cool. All right, moving on. So let's talk about the sort of centerpiece of the whole spot, and that is this Xavier Alto Desk. It's got this beautiful sort of piano-like black gloss finish, which I actually would have preferred a matte because, as you can see, I've already scratched it. You know, this is a desk. This is my workspace. I use it a lot. I'm not that careful. I scratched it a bit. But in general, this desk is the shit. And it has a secret. Ready for this? I mean, come on. So, I'm very into ergonomics. It's very important to me because for some reason I have a lot of inflammation. I have problems with my hands, my wrists, my elbows, shoulders, all my joints basically. I'm an old man. And so having a sit-stand desk is very important to me. I spend a lot of time in front of the computer, and you can't, if you just sit down all day, you're gonna die early. That's just a fact. You can look it up on the internet. You're already on the internet, so just look it up right now. It's not good to sit down all day. So standing up is way better, but you also want to have the option to sit sometimes because you can't stand all the time. So having a sit-stand desk is the jam. So a couple of things that I do for that, aside from just having a sit-stand desk, this is the Microsoft ergonomic keyboard. I can't remember exactly what it's called. This is like, so ergonomic keyboards tend to be very expensive. This one's like $40, and I haven't found one that I like as much as this. It's crazy good. It's super simple. This is important because if you're typing like this all the time, you're straining your wrists. So the closer you can get it to this, the better off you're gonna be. It's not like particularly well made or anything. This is my second one. I burned through one already, but like I said, the other ones are like $200 and this is like 30 or 40 or something. I have a cheap controller. Got iRig pads over here. I use this to program drums and stuff. This is super handy, being in terms of ergonomics, being able to use this mouse for this kind of stuff, and then being able to scroll with the trackpad, because scrolling like this is bad for your everything. So I use this if I'm being lazy, but being able to use two separate ones is great. And then here's something weird that I splurged on, but actually works great. This is the Kinesis Savant Elite 2, which is a mouse click for your foot. So this is like left click, double click, right click, and you just outsource the clicking to your feet, and that allows you to save your click finger. And this is really the thing that fucks you up when you're using the computer all day long. It's not so much the moving the mouse around, it's the clicking that'll really mess you up. So this is expensive. It's like $175. But if you're using a mouse all day long, it's definitely worth it. So ergonomics, if you're on a computer all day long, is super important. The Xavier Alto is great for me because it has rack spaces, which obviously right now they're empty. It's still pretty new. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to put in here yet. Although I am waiting for some rack mounts for the Torpedo Reload from 2 Notes, which I use all the time. And that, I think, will definitely go in one of these spaces. It'll probably fit here best, I think. I haven't really quite worked it out yet. So this has 2 rack spaces. You can get it with 3, actually. But I wanted to have plenty of space to put all this junk underneath my computer. This is a little thing that Isaac made for himself, and then he didn't need it anymore, so I stole it. And that houses the my little hub and hard drives, etc. Some junk. This is our little charger for batteries. And then sort of the crown jewel is the Apollo Twin Quad from Universal Audio. Everything I record goes through this, pretty much. It has a really great DI, headphones out. I use preamp modeling in it so that I don't have to have a whole ton of expensive preamps, although that would be cool too. And it's for a small studio like this, if you're not recording drums or anything like that, I can't imagine you need anything more than this. It outsources a lot of the DSP from the plugins is on here. You can run plugins off of this so that it doesn't take up your computer's processing. That's real sick. And then we've got some Dork Dice. This, this isn't because I like to play D&D, although back in the day I used to. This is for doing more of those random drum groove videos that I know you guys love so much. We've got some in the works. You're gonna love it. I love this thing. This is the Behringer Mini Moog clone. It's called the Model D. This is another thing that I should probably rack mount, but I have to buy a kit for it because it doesn't come with that stuff. I got this recently to organize my picks because it was always such a clusterfuck of garbage. This is on Amazon. It was like $1. We've got a 2-monitor setup. Obviously, they look very different in color. This one kind of sucks, but it was donated to me also by Isaac. Basically, everything I own is a cast-off from my roommate. We use the 2 Notes Torpedo Reload because this shit is all in one. I did a whole video about reamping, and this has everything you need for tracking DIs. It's a DI box. Reamping, it's a reamp box. It's a load box for recording amps direct, and it's an attenuator. So that's super, super important to what we do here. It's great. It sounds great. It's super easy to use. I love it so much. This is a weird-looking candle holder thing that I used in my music video for Dance of Bones, which you can find on the Trey Xavier guitar channel. And then last but not least, I have this Secret Lab Titan chair. This is like a gamer chair. I'm not really a gamer. I game a little bit. I'm more of a player, to be honest. So, this chair is really well made. It's not super soft in the seat, so I have I don't have a lot of junk in the trunk on my booty, okay? I got pancake butt, so I need a pillow. A lot of people have complained online that it's not that soft, and that is true, but, just put a pillow on it and you're good to go. You don't want to have to put down a pillow on a $500 chair, but it's a pretty easy fix. Everything else about it is great. Ugh. So because we're just shooting in like the corner of our garage, we had to sort of separate it out somehow and isolate ourselves. So we just got these curtains on Overstock.com and these poles, which work, I would say about 70% as well as I'd hoped. But we've only had it fall on one person, and that was Glenn Fricker, and he'll be all right. So they're just super basic black curtains. They don't hold any sound out or anything. It's just to sort of mentally isolate myself. I can still hear the fucking dog next door barking. I'm not fucking poisonous kibble. What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here. This is a little bit of a diary about our new studio, our second location, is what I'm going to call it for the time being. A place you should never go with a hippie, according to 30 Rock. Never go with a hippie to a second location. Smart advice. So, what we're looking at is basically a very convenient new spot for Gear Gods. So, the house where Isaac, our senior editor, and I live has a barn right on the property. So I convinced my landlord to rent it to us, just a corner of it. Right now, it doesn't look like much. In fact, right now it just looks like a place that somebody would interrogate a prisoner, you know, like,
"We got you at the scene of the crime on the 24th of June. I know you did it."
No, man, it wasn't me. I didn't do it.
So there isn't a whole lot to report at this point. If you're watching this, I imagine that it's already done. So you're watching this in documentary form about how we did it. So literally blank canvas at this point. Check this out. I mean, we got, you know, fake wood floors. Walls painted a very nice shade of blue, but it's just too shiny and industrial looking for us. There's nothing but possibilities here. I'm sure there will be some ups and downs trying to get this place looking the way that we want it to. You know, it's slightly smaller than I'd like. We might at some point take more than a quarter of this space. I'm kind of nervous about what it's going to look like, but as always, there's only one way to find out. Here goes nothing. All right, here we are, day 2 of putting together the studio. This is as far as I've gotten. Literally built a square. You're like, wow, Trey, that square is not big enough. But I'm gonna build a small rectangle to finish it off, and this is gonna be the back wall. I got a bunch of these 1x2s and Pergo, flooring for a wall covering, and I got some good old-fashioned drywall. So this is going to be the backdrop for the studio. The desk will go here. This little kind of fake wall that's going to look like reclaimed elm wood, I think. And then some guitars hanging on it and maybe some other stuff. I don't know. So because I'm not quite as smart as I look, I've had to do a little finagling. Actually, it's not really my fault. The wall is slightly more than 8 feet, and most stuff comes in 8 feet. You know, pieces of wood and 2x4s, 1x2s, sheetrock, etc. all come in 8 feet. So I had to get a little bit creative and make the square 1 inch larger than 8 feet, which means that I have to actually cut the studs 1 inch short to make them fit in there. It's a little complicated and dumb, but here we go. Alright, I cut these to size. I probably did a terrible job. Luckily, this is something that if I do a terrible job, it's still gonna work out probably pretty fine. Whose brainiac idea is it to staple these little things on the end? It's real obnoxious. Good old-fashioned barn raising. Like many other things I do, it's real shit, but it'll work. The ceiling is about 2 inches longer than the floor, so I smell terrible in every way that a person can smell terrible. Start of day 3, And I'm about to do something difficult. I'm gonna cut this here piece of drywall, not in a straight line, because the wall's not straight and it has to match. Not very stoked on it. If I screw it up, I have to go buy another piece of drywall, which is gonna be a complete pain in the ass. I had to rent a truck to get these 3 pieces of drywall here. Wish me luck, I guess. All right, here we are, day 4. I have finished probably, I want to say that looks like 3/4 of the back wall. It's starting to look pretty good. I put the rug down. I just bought 2 black rugs that were 48 square feet each from Home Depot and put them on the ground. And they just happened to fit basically exactly perfectly well. So I'm pretty stoked on that. For 30 bucks a pop. I carpeted the area for $60 total. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to knock out the rest of this back wall today, and then I'll be most of the way towards making it useful. So of course I picked the absolute hottest time of the year to do this. It's like 100 degrees outside in LA. Please, please kill me. Please just kill me. I did it. I did it. Yeah. I mean, you can stand proudly in front of it despite the fact that I did everything myself.
Hey, I held that molding.
I give you the wall of ball. All right, here we are. I've lost count of the days, so it's day 17 or 47. I don't know. We got this big old pole.
Check it out.
It's gonna install here. It's gonna be a curtain. It's a curtain rod. We're gonna put that rod.
Alright.
Yeah, right now it's a little hot dog hallway situation, but we're gonna expand that rod. We're making good progress. I mean, look at what we got going on here. We got the wall of ball. We got the stack of crap. And we got wood, background wood. We installed this sort of frame made of wood. Real wood around fake wood. Luke, I am your father.
Yes. Dude.
I got a box in one hand and a knife in the other, and that can only mean one thing. After many long years suffering with the same terrible desk, the time has come to upgrade, and it has now arrived, so I'm gonna cut this plastic wrap off and bring it inside. So here we go. It's very satisfying. Where does one even get this much saran wrap? Oh, this old thing? This is the Xavier Alto sit-stand desk, or it will be soon. Right now it's just a bunch of boxes on a pallet, but I'm very excited to do a lot more of this, what I'm doing right now. Standing. All right, now it's time for us to actually build this thing. Right now, it's just a bunch of boxes, and now it's going to become a desk. Wow, so as you can see, pretty easy setup. Really, I think I'm pretty satisfied with this. Looks great. I don't really know how to make it go up and down just yet. I think there's got to be a button here somewhere. Yeah, but I think I'll just toss my computer in here. And all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. You've seen this space in tons of our videos already, and this is where we'll be for the foreseeable future. So hopefully you dig it, and if you don't mind, hit the like button for me and mash that subscribe button for more reviews and original content. And we'll see you real soon.
You like that? You like seeing this shit? Content. Content. Content.